Okay, everybody, we'll go ahead and get started here. I just want to do the customary Zoom question. You guys able to hear me okay and see me okay?
I can hear you fine, Joe.
Okay, outstanding. Well, listen, everybody, I appreciate you guys carving time out to meet with us during this open house. Instead of a PowerPoint deck, what I'm going to go ahead and do is just basically use the SCiDUC website as our deck, and kind of use this time to introduce ourselves to you. So, really, the point of this meeting here is to introduce you to SCiDUC, and as part of a outreach to really kind of connect better with local government agency or local government and the related agencies. So for you guys that may or may not be familiar, at least at a high level, what SCiDUC is an acronym, okay? It's the South Carolina Interagency Drone Users Consortium. So it's a mouthful. And it's a new organization. We've been incorporated for less than a year. We've just received our 501c3 status from the IRS. But from a high level, what this is a volunteer organization exclusive to government employees that in the state of South Carolina that are using drones to support their agency's mission in some way or fashion. So if you are a state of South Carolina government employee at any level, and you are looking for an organization to network with other drone users to be able to leverage their experiences, their connections and software and hardware and all those kind of good things, this is your group. And we're made up, and I think that we've done, in a year's time, I know we've done a lot of great things and made an enormous amount of progress. And I think we've done a really good job of reaching government agencies at the state level. And I'm kind of just scrolling down a list of icons or logos rather for various different state level organizations that we have connected with us. And this is not a comprehensive list at all, but those are just the ones that we've got approval from to use their logos. And then you get to the local government agencies, and it's far fewer. So, the board, which is I'm going to introduce you to, or have them introduce themselves to you here in a moment. Basically recognize this is a flaw. This is a weakness in our group, where we've done a really good job of reaching state level organizations, but we have not done a good job of reaching local government at the city, county level, and their related support services that are using drones, whether they be first responders or stormwater or whatever the services happen to be. So that's really the goal of this meeting, is really, and I want to be respectful of your time here, but just to introduce you to who we are as a group, and then encourage you, if this is something that you have an interest in joining us, and maybe even getting involved with a committee or something along those lines. So just to kind of kick off the discussion, from a high level, SCiDUC is organized or managed by a board of directors. Now, this is a voluntary board, which this first image here, this smiley guy here, that's me. That's Joe Burgett. I serve as the current president of the board. My day job, though, is I work for Clemson University. So what I'd like to do, and I use drones for research and working with SCiDUC and other state agencies. So what I'd like to do is just kind of ask the board, if you guys are on the line, I know you are, if you could maybe just turn your mics on here real quick and just introduce, state your name and real quickly who you work for and how you use drones. So I'm going to skip past Daryl. Daryl is actually, he's with the Forestry Commission, and he's out in California doing the good work out there. So next up is Uva, our secretary. Uva, do you mind saying hello?
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I work with the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. That's my normal daytime job. Well, kind of normal. It's just I work part-time. I've retired from DHEC, but I've come back and work primarily in the drone program, and I help coordinate the drone program at DHEC. We use, basically we're kind of limited in what we have. So we're using RGB, red, green, blue, just regular camera capabilities on our drones. But we use it for things like mapping cleanup sites, brownfield initiatives. We use it for assessment of dams, after hurricanes or natural disasters, to see, how well the dams are holding up to everything, and if there are any issues there. We also use it for suitability for sites, like for permitting. Recently, we've done something where we went out to an agricultural site where somebody wanted to expand their chicken houses. So we had to kind of look and make sure that everything was okay out there. And that was something we use. We can track origins of spills, pollutants in water bodies, that kind of thing. But again, it's got to be with something that you can see if there's a pollutant in there. We use it for public relations. So, I mean, we're exploring. We're using it for all kinds of things, and there are a lot more things that I know we can use it for.
Okay, great, Uwe, thank you. Jason works with me at Clemson, but unfortunately he was committed elsewhere. But he's serving as our treasurer, and he sends his well wishes to everybody. Susan, do you mind saying a few words?
Yeah. Hi, this is Susan Wang. I'm a professor of geography at USC. We have been using drones for basically geography-related questions, most likely 3D landscape mapping, for example, to assess soil erosion from a flood and to monitor the vegetation healthiness, for example, salt marshes, and also the trees on earthen dams. More recently, I'm also very excited in testing into new different sensors like a color infrared camera and hopefully LiDAR in the near future to advance 3D drone surveys on both natural and man-made structures.
Great, awesome. Thank you, Susan.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Gary, you're next up on the list. Do you mind saying hello?
Hey guys, I'm Gary Sundin. I'm a wildlife biologist with the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Our little drone program has been going since 2017 or so. We primarily use it for habitat mapping, shellfish reef mapping. We also do wildlife counts, particularly nesting birds. We're going to be hopefully doing some sea turtle counting work coming up, and to a lesser degree, pre and post-storm damage assessments and shoreline erosion and monitoring shoreline erosion specifically at some small-scale experimental sites that we've got.
Awesome. Thanks, Gary. Tyler's with ETV. Do you mind sharing us a little bit about what you guys are doing over there? I think we had Tyler on.
Hang on one second. Okay, how's that? Can you see me?
Yep. But we were looking for Tyler Brock, though.
Oh, okay. Well, let me get off of this then.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Tyler Brock, are you there? I saw Tyler, so maybe I was assuming that was our Tyler from the board, but he might not be on right now. So we'll go ahead and skip past. Tyler works for ETV, and he is using drone technologies for his tower inspections. And some of the pictures that he has sent me from those tower crews inspecting things thousands of feet up in the air definitely speaks to the value this technology can bring. Okay, and then last on the board is Scott Reynolds. Go ahead, Scott, you there?
Yeah, I believe I'm unmuted. My name's Scott Reynolds. I've been with DHEC for about 40 some years. I work with Uwe to help coordinate our drone activities for both 2D and 3D inspections, documentation, and we are all volunteer pilots. We all have other jobs within the program. We don't have people that are assigned to this. So like Uwe, I support all the drone activities across all the bureaus: air, water, land and waste, ocean, coastal resource management.
Great. Thanks, Scott. You know, and Scott actually brings up a good point here. So one, you could probably gauge here that just from the board of directors alone, it's a very mixed bag group. We have very different responsibilities, but we're using this technology to support our missions. And to Scott's point, none of us are full-time drone folks. You know, it's a tool that's in our tool bag that we go to use to support our missions or research or whatever it happens to be. Which makes this kind of group so important is that no one is a full-time drone person, but if we can kind of leverage what other folks have done, other agencies, whether it be, you know, policy or training or, you know, whatever it happens to be, it makes this group all the more important. So one point of logistics here, there's a good group on here. If you do have any questions, feel free to go ahead and type them in the chat bar. We've got somebody managing the chat window here, so they'll collect questions, and his name is Al, and Al will you know, kind of collect them and then pipe them in, and we'll answer those appropriately. So what I want to do now is really just kind of talk about what we do. You know, what is this group all about? So so a couple of different things. So I guess we'll start here with, I guess we'll start with events. So generally, well, not generally, we have a meeting every quarter. Now, we started out meeting in person and networking, whether they be, you know, we rent some hall in Columbia somewhere and we would meet. Obviously, COVID kind of changed that a little bit, and we've had to move our meetings online, and we'll have a Zoom call, and we'll have another Zoom call here for our fourth quarter meeting here coming up November 12th at 10 a.m. and you guys are more than welcome to attend. But hopefully starting in February, we're going to, you know, try to get back to face-to-face a little bit. We'll be outside. We're going to meet at the Harbinger Center. Daryl Jones, who he was on the board and wasn't able to be here because he's out in California fighting fires, is going to bring his fire rig, which is a drone that drops these little fire bomblets, and he has a better term for it than I, that sets control burns, and he'll be demonstrating that, and hopefully we can have one of our industry partners out there to, you know, demonstrate some of their drones and answer questions on the hardware side. So those are the things that we do. You know, that's one of the things. We meet every quarter. We like to promote our membership and things and folks that are doing good things. So every month we have what we call our SCiDUC member spotlight. So this is where it's someone is nominated, whether they nominate themselves or more likely just someone nominates them for doing good things in drone work, and which is we you know, put them on our website, and we send an email blast out, just again kind of recognizing people for doing drone work, and we all know it takes work to do it, so it's nice to have that recognition. We do have a group of committees. This is the list of committees that we have standing right now, but and if there's something here that appeals to you, we certainly encourage you to, you know, get involved, and you can reach out to me, and I can put you into the champions committee chairs court, and they can work with you. Or if there's something that you have a passion about and you are interested in carrying it forward and having to use SCiDUC's network to support the load, it's a great opportunity. You know, we have just kind of as an example here, our outreach committee, they are currently planning a drone training event. So it's going to be again in Columbia at the Harbinger Center, a nice big open fields where we'll set out some NIST training platforms, you know, those bucket trees, and we'll bring some hardware out there, and some folks can try some drones out, and maybe, you know, again, networking, see what one agency does versus another agency, while still doing the social distancing and mask and outside and all that kind of good stuff. Policy group, they're working through getting policies from different organizations and having a central housing agency. So if someone needs a policy, they don't have to start from scratch. And then I'll let you kind of read through the rest. I mean, emergency management group, we have an interagency database group, a research committee, a training and safety committee, and then the 2021 conference task force, which we're hopeful that might shift to 2022, but we would like to have a conference at some point and bring in some speakers to speak to our group. We also, have under resources, a number of public resources. So these are either drone documents or, for example, Part 107 exam resources. So here's a bunch of links to either free practice test or free YouTube videos for, prepping people, and all these kind of good resources, some things that the FAA has put together to help folks prep for the Part 107. We had an arrangement with Drone Launch Academy, which is an online Part 107 exam prep provider, in which we got a promo code for us, and members would get a 50% discount. And then, various different sheets and information to kind of help members with some of the issues that they might have. We also have a podcast series, what we call our SCiCast. We try to do this every quarter, and we've had topics, and again, so we're only about a year old, so we have about 4 of these in the can so far. But we did a session on remote ID, which is kind of a big topic right now with Jason Kanzler, who's one of the major app providers and service provider for Part 1 for the FAA. We did a great session on drones and privacy by an attorney who works for the state, and that's kind of an area of he has some expertise. We interviewed Lieutenant Colonel Chris Peterson from the Civil Air Patrol, and most recently we spoke with someone at Bentley Systems, who's a producer of context capture. Some of you may be familiar with, they're one of the leading 3D modeling software where they did kind of a tutorial webinar on how to use their software. We also, I'm going to go back here to events, and we also have done some outreach events. Of course, we're doing this open house right now, and of course we've had previous meetings, but one of the things that was really fun to do back in the spring, we did a drone day with at-risk high school kids. So some kids that were having some going through some things. We used drones as kind of a STEM outreach to them, where we brought a 1-to-1 SCiDUC to student ratio, where we put a drone in their hands, and Clemson and others were able to bring some equipment out there for them to fly, an open field, and again, one-on-one, so everybody was safe. They flew drones around, they took a bunch of pictures, and we brought them back to Clemson's lab, and fed them some pizza, and they created a model on some laptops and some volunteers. So it was a really cool event that was really just a great, good for all, and really was fun to put together. One of the last things we'll mention here is just how this is funded. Again, everyone talking to you and you spoke to so far, all volunteers. We have day jobs. This is not it, but we are blessed in that we've had several industry supporters come up and either financially support us and provide some other services to kind of keep the lights on, fund the website, and these hold meeting space and all that kind of stuff. One of which was Bentley Systems. I got to mention them before as one of the SCiCast speakers. So not only do they financially support us, but they give us access to, for educational purpose, all of their software, which is hundreds and hundreds of software packages that we can use, and you can use as SCiDUC members. Try it out, see if you like it, without having to buy it, and no 2-week services or anything like that. Just use it till you feel comfortable with it, and then that's part of the group. And then Airworks, there's another business leading sponsor. They've supported us, and Stephen Baxley, he's a great guy. He sells DJI equipment, so he's kind of my go-to guy if I have questions about DJI equipment. And he's made himself available to any SCiDUC member to just call and ask questions without having to, no money, just to kind of help out. So that's kind of our group here. And again, what we like to do is, again, just kind of introduce you to who it is and what we do. There's no money to join or anything. Again, it's just a networking thing. The more people join, the more rich our group is, the better the networking is, and the more we can help you, and then potentially you can help, when I say us, other government employees throughout the state. So what I would encourage you to do is to join. Click this join now button here, and it's a simple form. We promise not to spam you or anything, or sell your list or anything like that, but we'll send you emails just to let you know what we got going on, the next meetings that are coming forward, outreach events that we have if you're interested in participating in that. So, just kind of put some basic information, and then we do ask for you to kind of list what you're interested in, like where your expertise are at. And the hope there is that once we get kind of a good list of expertise in our database, we're going to improve. I skipped over this, but we do have a forum but we're going to make that better. And if people within the state ask questions about things, it will, if you're willing, have that ping your email, and it lets you know that there's someone that asked a question within the SCiDUC community that's in your field of expertise, and it's an opportunity for you to maybe help them out. And again, use this group as networking and as a support mechanism for South Carolina government agencies, employees using the technology. So I think that's all I wanted to cover. Let me say two more things though. If you do have any questions, or if you want me to come and trickle back on something, go ahead and type them in the chat bar, and Al can go through them. But then while they're typing, let me just kind of reach out to the board. Guys, is there anything that I missed or didn't cover that we should maybe mention to this group while we got them?
Yeah, Joe, the one thing that I kind of wanted to mention, and that has to go back to what you started out with the logos. If you are a member of SCiDUC and you would like to have your agency logo displayed on the website, we need to get permission to do that. So, what that entails is, whomever it is that you need within your organization to get that permission from, I'll need to see an email saying, yeah, it's okay to display the logo on the website. And then also, with that, include the logo in a JPEG file format, the one that you officially want displayed. I know there are a number of agencies out there that have several different types of logos, and they may have one preference for this type of use. So that's why we ask that you include the JPEG logo with it. But again, if you're interested in being a SCiDUC member and you would like to have your logo displayed on the website, please send that to me. And it's uwe.klauck@sciduc.org.
Right. Very good. Thanks, Uwe. And you can also, if you go to the contact us, there's a little form, and we can start the dialogue there too, and put you in the right, put you in contact with Uwe. It's not required, by the way. It's just kind of nice. Sometimes agencies are a little tough to get permission for logo use and all that. So it's not required to join, but if you'd like to, put it on there, we'd love to have it just to kind of show the good work that you guys are doing. Anything else from the board that we should that we might want to mention to this group? Okay, I do see some questions coming through here. Okay, Anne, I see your question that piped up here, and it looks like, okay, so they're asking if there's a specific board member that would be a point of contact. You're more than welcome to contact any of us, but probably me as the president. I can be your point of contact and can filter you to the right person, or if I can't answer it, send it to the right person. And my email address, probably should have had that. Well, if you're here, you have an email from me, but it's joe.burgett@sciduc.org. Or again, if you just do the contact us field here and just fill out information here, this gets piped to my email address, and I can get a hold of you that way. Okay. Okay, I'm not seeing a lot of questions come through. I'm seeing some comments that you're looking forward to joining, and that's great. Love to have you. So anything else, guys? I don't want to drag out a meeting longer than it needs to, but anything else that anyone want to talk about before we wrap things up? Oh, okay, we do. Well, hold on. We got one more question coming through here. James is asking about has a municipality and is just starting their program, and they are looking for policy help. So great question. What I would do is send us a note here, and I'm going to put you in contact with a gentleman named Scott Harris. He is chairing our policy committee. And he's done some work and collected a whole bunch of other policies from other agencies. And my advice on that would be to not start from scratch, but to look at what some of the other agencies has put together and have vetted through their through their legal counsel and borrow heavily from what's already been done. But send me a note and I'll put you in contact with Scott and he can direct you. Great question. Good comment. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, I think that's it. So appreciate you logging on. If there's anything that we can do, again, this is again a group of the state for the state. So if there's something I can do, oh, actually got one more question piped through here. So let me touch on the recommendations. Attend our annual conference. Fire rescue, great way to share. Okay, so Brick just typed in a recommendation about the fire rescue. Okay, so that's a good point. I'm not familiar with it right offhand, but this would be something, this is a great, great example. Brick can send me something about it, a little blurb information about it. I'm sure there's a flyer or something, and then we can forward that out to the rest of the group, and so they're aware of it. It's a great way of communicating information. So thank you, Brick, for that. Okay, thanks everybody. Please, if you've got a minute, go ahead and join. Love to have you on, and so you can get into our communication. And I look to see you at a future SCiDUC event. Thanks for logging on, everybody.